Hello, popcorn junkies. My God, none are there, and then suddenly 85,000 arrive all at the same time. This is yet another trailer from Warner Brothers. This is for a DC Comics superhero film called Blue Beetle. This is obviously part of the DC Extended Universe. This is James Gunn, director of Guardians of the Galaxy, now head of DC, also making Superman Legacy, which, yeah, I mean, it's a curious decision, isn't it, to sort of revitalize the DC universe with Superman. I mean, not that it's the wrong thing, but he's a very divisive figure, I think, Superman, how you deal with him. Anyway, Blue Beetle is the next film. Obviously, the last one we had was The Flash, starring Ezra Miller. I think in my review, I made it pretty clear. I thought that was a sensationally successful superhero mainstream entertainment movie. It was a perfect watch as a sort of mindless romp through fun and silliness with a whatever you think of Ezra Miller, rather expert performance at the centre of it. And yet, of course, that tanked because of all of the bad press, but also I think because people are sort of like The Flash. I feel The Flash is a bit like 1970s, a bit like Wonder Woman is. I hate to say it, a little bit like I feel Superman is. So there could be an argument that a character like Blue Beetle in this film is very not 70s. But, and it's a big but, it is quite shiny. It is quite primary coloured. And whilst there's a whole host of brilliant actors at the centre of this, and obviously this has been much championed as, in a sense, the first principally Latino cast or orientated, superhero film. It stars Xolo Maridueña. He's from Cobra Kai, which is something I haven't watched. I know it's the sort of spin-off of The Karate Kid, just not my kind of thing. And it also co-stars the likes of Susan Sarandon, Adriana Barraza, Damián Alcázar. So it's a culturally important superhero film. But parking that to one side, Blue Beetle. I mean, it's not a name many of us know. Certainly not a character that I was sort of fully aware of. It's based upon a character or an individual called Jaime Reyes who graduates from college and is chosen to become a symbiotic host to the Scarab, which is a bit kind of, are we into symbiotes and all that kind of stuff in Spider-Man and what have you? And this Scarab is an ancient alien biotechnological relic that grants him a powerful exoskeleton armor. I wonder if they had to say that when they pitched it to Warner Brothers and say, this is the one we need to go for. Now, in the last trailer, what can I say? It felt very sort of old school superhero. That's all I can say. But you know what? So too did the Flash trailer. So after that experience of having really enjoyed the Flash, I am really willing to hold judgment back and maybe we're going to see a lot more from this trailer that kind of gets us excited.
Okay, I want to fight. Let's do this. Yeah!
You gotta force it to come out.
What do you... You're a genius.
Well, I know. That's what I say.
Did you know what was gonna happen to my brother when you stuck him with this world-destroying thing?
It's called the Scarab. I had no idea it would activate. It has to choose you.
So how do we get it to unchoose me?
Host acquired.
Who said that?
Systems tracking 3,
Okay,
2.
it's gonna be okay.
Uptown, baby. I was down, but they see I'm up now, baby.
Stop!
Host overreacting.
Overreacting? You kidnapped me!
When I hit you with that, you know.
Threat approaching. Engaging host protection.
Kick it like it's judo. And when we get in mode, I'ma dog it like I'm Cujo.
Threat eliminated.
Sorry about that! What do you think the government is gonna do when they figure out that some kid has this military tech?
Bust it down.
We are going to change the world with the power of the Scarab. It belongs to me.
Watch out!
Out the way, don't stop.
Oh, he's pissed.
Listen to me!
Uptown, baby.
You got the wrong guy! I'm a nobody! I swear!
I was down, but they see I'm up now, baby.
The world is
is a place to protect.
I have an arsenal at my disposal.
Anything, please!
Watch and learn, Jaime. Whatever you can imagine, I can create.
Yeah, that's more like it.
That love you feel for your family makes you weak. You're wrong.
My family, that's what makes me strong.
Oh, I forgot how bad it looks.
Target the family.
Sorry, my mom.
Jaime?
You are a superhero, cabron.
Y'all take shots, y'all aim up. Whoa!
You're the Blue Beetle.
I could use that arsenal right about now!
Thought you'd never ask.
Hell yeah!
They been trying to run away, don't stop! Bust it down, bust it down.
Nana?
I advise we back away.
Town, I was down, but they see I'm up now.
So, very blue. Okay, what are the bits that I like about that? I like the tech. I like the scarab. I like the way in which it kind of like an alien in Alien, you know, the sort of face planter, the way it kind of attaches it to his face, itself to his face. I like the way it then becomes part of his spinal column. I always like a superhero who doesn't want to be a superhero. So he's kind of finding himself with all these powers. It's a little bit like The Flash, a little bit like Spider-Man, you know, out of their league, trying to come to grips with it. A reluctant hero. In possession of reluctant superpowers. That's always good. That's always good. His family, the sense of family was good. It's a very strongly, got a very strongly Latino identity, which I think is incredibly good for inclusivity and optics and visibility, etc. But if I had a real concern with it, it feels like a television movie. It doesn't feel like a cinematic movie. And from what I'm hearing, I think it has actually been shot, I think, for IMAX, but it feels small. That's the strange thing. The music felt quite generic. I mean, it was sort of pounding along, trying to sort of drive the action, a lot of squealing, a lot of kind of... I mean, I love the moment towards the end where you had Nana with an enormous fucking power gun of some form. It was a little bit like Mrs. Doubtfire. It was a bit like watching Mrs. Doubtfire get a gun ready to shoot someone. But, you know, it's obviously got a nice sense of humour. It's going to be riffing on familial kind of structure and closeness and all that kind of stuff. And the baddie looks like a really rough piece of baddiness. He was sort of giving me Mickey Rourke vibes from, was it Iron Man 2? I think it was Iron Man 2, when he had all the kind of arms and stuff like that. You know, rough, sort of horrible, mercenary style, the kind that would take your head off. Didn't laugh too much. No really big surprises. I do wonder whether this will be something that very much appeals to its target demographic and is yet another, if you like, sort of last gasp kind of exhalation for a former type of DC extended universe. I think this might just be something they want to rush out, get out, deliver some activity. But for me, it looks like a TV movie. I'm sorry, it doesn't look like a cinematic movie. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with Aquaman 2 next. I mean, that's obviously the next one up the sleeve of DC films after The Flash's failure. So what do you think, guys? Did that get you going? Are you excited about the Blue Beetle and his scarab? I mean, I have to say the word scarab in and of itself is just wonderful. I just want to keep saying scarab. Scarab.